Solo leveling is fucking trash, is what I've heard from many and many people on the internet, and some of even my friends said that to me. Today we're diving deep into the world of solo leveling, the sensational manga turned into an anime that has taken the world by the storm. But first, if you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the post notification bell so that you never miss out on our passionate discussions about all anime and manga. But without any further ado, let's begin the video. Alright, let's discuss the elephant in the room. Some critics out there have been quick to dismiss the solo leveling anime and manga as just another generic anime isekai or power fantasy, and saying that it's trash or mid at the best. But let me tell you, solo leveling is so much more than that. It's a gripping tale of growth, redemption, and relentless pursuit of our main character, Son Jin-woo, for power. First critique that I hear about solo leveling is the animation is not that good. First of all, let's talk about the animation and the artwork. Solo leveling's visuals are absolutely breathtaking. And people who say the solo leveling animation is not good are the same people who don't know the basics of animation, the 7 steps of animation that needs to be met in order to, for it to be a good animation. They just want sparkling, cleaning, flashy animation that is good looking, right? And that doesn't make sense. That's not how things are animated. If you see it from a perspective like I do, who knows about animation in general, it's pretty good. Solo leveling animation is better than most animation out there. And again, this studio is the same studio which animated Sword Art Online, many of your favorite anime, and cannot really go bad with the animation. The artwork, people say it's not the same or detailed as manhwa, and again, the same thing. So many animes and mangas out there don't have, and again, it's the same thing, right? So many animes out there don't have that much detail to, just compare it to the manga or manhwa version of it. Like, take Jujutsu Kaisen for an example. The second season of Jujutsu Kaisen is not as detailed as the manga is. Like, the manga of Jujutsu Kaisen, especially the Shibuya incident arc, is very detailed in the manga. Obviously, they have to sacrifice the manga's detailing in order to make the animation more fluid. People have to understand that. Either you take extremely detailed animation or extremely fluid. Extremely fluid animation is the one that you get in Sakuga's, the insane fights that you get, maybe like Naruto and Sasuke versus Momoshiki, Barry Armor Naruto versus Ishiki, those level of fights is really hard to pull off when you have a really detailed animation. Like, it has to be fluid. Fluid animation looks much better than detailed and stiff animation. The fight between Son Jin-woo and Egress, the blood red armor guy, is a primary example of this. They poured their heart and soul into animating that fucking episode. It was so good, so fluid. The fight was amazing. Absolute 10 out of 10. Nothing to complain about. Not only that fight, the entirety of the Solo Leveling series, fighting wise, was amazingly animated. It was extremely fluid. There's nothing that we can honestly complain about. Again, solo leveling is just gonna get better and better as the budget of the studio increases, since solo leveling is a hit right now. But then again, as big as solo leveling is, that's the reason it's getting the hate that it is as well. And speaking of the manhwa, let's give credit where credit is due. Son Jin-woo, our protagonist, is one of the most compelling characters I've come across in recent memory. His journey from being the weakest hunter to the most powerful being on the planet is nothing short of epic. But what sets Son Jin-woo or solo leveling apart is its focus on character development of our main character, Son Jin-woo. Son Jin-woo isn't a one-dimensional character of a power fantasy anime like any other. He's a complex character with fears, flaws, and inner demons that he must overcome along his path to greatness. For example, we saw in episode 6 that Son Jinwoo had to kill humans in order to survive. He was hesitant to do so, but he still did. That was character development. Son Jinwoo, in many other instances, literally, was in the brink of death, and yet he came back. This is one trait that keeps going on through the entire story, that our main character does not give up, even if his opponent is much more powerful than him. Iguris was much more powerful than Jinwoo at that time, as we saw in the anime and in the manga, but Son Jinwoo was able to beat him by outsmarting him. Again, just some generic anime bullshit that's happening. But at the same time, it makes for a really good and compelling story. You'll see why this is so important as the anime goes on, and people in the manga obviously know why Jinwoo, coming close to death so many times is a good thing rather than a bad thing. So yeah, just keep that in mind as you go forward with the anime. It's not a bad thing that Jinwoo's coming close to death so many times and sort of getting plot armor. Again, it's a good thing. Every anime has plot armor, except for Jujutsu Kaisen. That shit is just, let's not talk about it. And now let's tackle another criticism against solo leveling, and that is the lack of side character development. Yes, it's true that solo leveling primarily focuses on yes, it is true that solo leveling focuses more on the journey of our protagonist Son Jinwoo. Some may even argue that this leaves a little room for the development of the side characters. But here is the thing. Solo leveling's strength lies in the laser-focused narrative of our main character, Son Jinwoo. The series is literally named Solo Leveling. Quotation, solo leveling, not group leveling or something, bro. Obviously, Son Jinwoo is gonna have more focus on him compared to other stories like maybe Naruto or One Piece or any other of your favorite animes that you want to compare. This is a solo leveling episode or solo leveling anime where the main protagonist is the main focus of the story, and other side characters are just there to level him up, and they are not supposed to be leveled up at all. It's the same thing. The anime or the manga literally hammers this down to us, saying that the hunter's power is decided literally when they are born. Like, they cannot do anything about that. Meaning, the moment this anime started, it made clear that Son Jinwoo is going to be the main focus. He's the only one who's going to get stronger throughout the entire story and going to have character development. So don't, try to focus on things like, oh, bro, solo leveling all doesn't focus on side characters. That's not what the story is about. Like, it made us very clear that that's not what the story is about. It's not about side character development. It's only about Son Jinwoo's character development. No one else. From the very first chapter, solo leveling makes it abundantly clear that Son Jinwoo's story is at heart of the narrative. We are drawn into his world, his struggles, and his quest for power. And while other characters certainly have very important roles and they serve primarily to complement Son Jinwoo's journey rather than overshadow it. Now, some may argue that this approach neglects the potential for the rich character arcs among the supporting characters, but I would argue that solo leveling storytelling is deliberately choice rather than a flaw. By maintaining a tight focus on Son Jinwoo's character, the series is able to dive deeper into the psyche of his growth, his relationships with those around him, not others. That was the whole reason why this anime got so popular, or this manga got so popular, because this whole thing was of Son Jinwoo, no one else. Take the relationship between Jinwoo and his companions. For example, while they do not go under any kind of major transformation like our protagonist, their interaction with Jinwoo reveals the layers of his personality and motivations. While each member of Jinwoo's team brings something unique to the table, whether it's unwavering loyalty, fierce determination, or unwavering support, let's not forget about the villains of the solo leveling story as well. While they might not be considered the side characters in the traditional sense, they play a crucial role in shaping Sun Jin-woo's character. These encounters with our protagonist force him to confront his own limitations, push past his boundaries, and ultimately grow stronger. So while it's true that solo leveling may not offer the same level of side character development as other series, it's important to recognize that this is a deliberate choice rather than a shortcoming. By keeping the laser focus on Sun Jin-woo, the solo leveling delivers a tightly woven narrative that is both compelling and the reason why the series is so popular. Another criticism that I found about solo leveling in our ever-loving platform of Twitter was overwhelming emphasis on action. What? Ben was having too many fights in an anime or a manga being the problem. If that was the case, JJK would not be as popular as it is right now. JJK, I would argue, is 80% fights. Let me hammer that down. JJK is mostly fights. There is, maybe 2 or 3 chapters between each arc or the major event in each arcs that, we don't have any fights. It only takes 2 to 3 chapter break to, dump lore on us before it jumps into fighting again. Like, it's non-stop fight. Like, from what I remember, chapter 218 to all the way till now, it's continuous fighting. I'm not joking. JJK, probably the second most selling manga right now, has that many fights, and no one seems to have any problem with that. But the same thing is happening in solo leveling, and somehow people have problem of there being too many fights. And I know it's a spectacular, action sequence the solo leveling have. Some viewers feel that this series lies too heavily on these moments at the expense of meaningful character interaction and plot development. As a result, the story may feel shallow or lacking in emotional depth. And while I do somewhat agree with this point, it's not completely true. First and foremost, let's acknowledge the undeniable fact solo leveling knows how to do action. From the jaw-dropping battle against powerful monsters to exhilarating confrontations with rival hunters, each action sequence is expertly choreographed and visually stunning. Again, so many fights that happen in the anime, every single one of them were peak, really goodly animated and choreographed. I've talked about this before, right? These scenes, really make us hype of this, series. Like these fights are what keep the series hype up, keeping viewers on the edge of their seats with every punch, kick, spells that Sun Jin-woo does. It's absolutely amazing to see his character development. Even big YouTubers have said this, man. If you want like a story progression of an anime, solo leveling is not for you. The whole purpose of a solo leveling anime and manga is literally a boy who was the weakest. From the weakest, he became the strongest because of his most, you could say, because of a unique trait that he had, that he was selected to give and that power that he currently has. But here's the thing. Solo leveling isn't just a mindless action for the sake of spectacular. Beneath the surface level of excitement lies a rich and character development on world building and thematic exploration. Yes, the action serves as the primarily driving force of narrative, but it also provides a window to inner struggles and growth of our protagonist, Sun Jin-woo. You have to remember, for each fight, Sun Jin-woo gets stronger and he learns something new. Take for an example, Sun Jin-woo's evolution from the weak E-rank hunter to the Shadow Monarch. Each battle he faces forces him to confront his fears, push past his limits, and ultimately grow stronger. It's through these trials and tribulations by fire that we witness Sun Jin-woo's transformation from a reluctant hero to a force that is superior to all things in his own verse. And let's not forget about the emotional stakes of the action. Beyond every clash of the swords and explosion of the magic lies a deeper narrative thread. Whether it's a quest of redemption, the pursuit of justice, or the bounds of camaraderie. These themes resonate with the viewers on a personal level, drawing them deeper into the world of solo leveling and investing them in the fates of its characters. Again, I said it 1,000 times, man. The entire bullshit of solo leveling as being a trash anime because it has somehow not good animation. Second, it doesn't focus on side character development when that is clearly not the purpose of the story. And third, it relies too much on action, and obviously it relies on action because it is a fighting manga. What the hell do you expect? So yeah, that's I just don't understand what the hate is all about. I personally love solo leveling, and people who do hate on it are either just trying to go against the motion of, since everyone is saying solo leveling is great, I will hate on it. I just don't understand, man. So you comment down below, guys. I really want to know if you really do hate solo leveling. Comment down below. If you think it's trash, comment down below the reason why. Let's have a debate right now, man. I am absolutely furious. And that's all for today, guys. What do you think? Does solo leveling really live up to its hype, or it is just another typical isekai anime? Comment down below. And while you're down there, like the video and subscribe to the page to see more solo leveling and anime content. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.